the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Going Old School Retro Discussions. Now, I know I didn't promote this one properly. This was kind of like a last minute thing. I felt like I wanted to talk about the show. I've been rewatching this show a whole lot, and that is our main topic for the evening. But it's always this thing with these people. And I know many of you out there that are watching understand exactly what I'm talking about. When you see these people gripe about these new iterations of these shows that they absolutely can't stand, and they just won't stop talking about it. Why not take the time and invest that time in talking about something that you actually do enjoy instead of hate watching on shit and driving everybody else batty with it? Just a little bit of words of wisdom from the pig right here. But what the hell do I know, right? Let's go ahead. We're going to say hi to the chat before we go ahead and get started. Our first one in the house was Chaos Hoy. What's going on, buddy? As you know, the pigs are doing well. I'm doing about as good as I can, and I hope that you're doing well too. Papa Cotton also in the house. What's up, Papa Cotton, man? I hope you're doing well. We're not going to be talking about the ill-fated SW at all, so you got nothing to worry about there, Papa. Scrambles, the death dealer, in the house. What's up, Scrambles, man? I hope that you're doing well, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Adega Outlaw, the doc, the man, the author, in the house. What's up, Adega Outlaw, man? Good to see you. Mandatory 6-hour work week this week. Woo-wee. Man, I do not envy you. Toy Mafia in the house. What's going on, Toy Mafia? Good to see you. DJ Ronnie G, what's up, man? I was confused. Now I'm not. That's always good. It's not good to be confused, but Scramble says he always is. Hope that you're doing well. I hope everybody in the chat is doing well. I hope both the pigs and the turtles are doing well. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. We did have to corral the turtle outside because he was trying to dig his way to freedom, and we did find him wandering around the yard eating all the grass. So there is that. And Cool Aid and Vodka. Yeah, what is going on? Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Guys, remember to go ahead and share the links out there to let everybody know that we're live, because I am the most hated guinea pig online, period. Stepped up from just being YouTube to everywhere, and we're also joined by Slasher McSplitter. What's going on, Slasher?
What's up, bro?
Getting ready to have a little fun talking about something we enjoy. We're not hate watching today. We're not hate watching. But yeah, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. We're going to get a start. Of course, as always, if you don't know how Going Old School works, I have presentations presented for everything on here because my internet company, CenturyLink, sucks ass. So I can't really run a camera the way I want, and I can't really show like regular clips like everybody else gets to do. So I find workarounds, and my workaround is playing short clips that I can upload to StreamYards and play during the shows. So let's go ahead and give a brief introductory intro to what Night Court was all about. Night Court premiered on NBC on January 4th of 1984 and ended on May 31st, 1992 after 9 seasons. Look, the pigs want to get into this review as well. The original run of the show consisted of 193 episodes, and there were tons of special guest appearances by stars that were already established and up-and-coming ones that we didn't even know were going to be stars yet. Harry Anderson played the incomparable Judge Harold T. Stone. Karen Austin was Lana Wagner in season 1. Gail Strickland as the public defender. Sheila Gardner in the pilot episode only. John Larroquette as Reinhold Daniel Fielding Elmore. Paul Kelly as Liz Williams in season 1. Richard Mole as Nostradamus Bull Shannon. Selma Diamond as Selma Hacker in seasons 1 and 2. Ellen Foley as Billy Young in season 2, Charles Robinson as Macintosh, Mac Robinson from seasons 2 through 9, Marky Post as Christine Sullivan from seasons 2 through 9, Florence Halop as Florence Flo Kleiner, season 3, and Marsha Warfield as Rosalind Roz Russell from seasons 4 through 9.
No, that's okay.
So, of course, as this show is talking about, this is a night court in New York where they're actually trying some of the small civil cases and everything, decide if they're going to be held over for trial or not. And usually Harold T. Stone does everything with a bit of comedic swag and everything that he delivers while he's on the bench. This show was a lot of fun, and there were so many different guest appearances. Real quick, Taylor Swift, greetings. Thanks for joining us. I hope that you are well. We are also joined by the Wiener Dog Man himself, Adam Shawhan. What's up, Adam?
What's up, man? I mean, when you talk about TV show, I remember when this aired. So, yeah, man, it was a great series.
It was a lot of fun, and you know, I have the full collection. They showed it off in the very beginning of that clip as I was talking about the show, and I recently went through the entire 9 seasons. And you know what? Other than the last season being a little bit of a letdown, because I think it's mostly because I didn't want it to end. Like, I was dreading playing the last 3 episodes because I was like, man, this is all over. This is all over, and I didn't want to start from the beginning again so soon. But yeah, it was so sad to watch that season end. And I know there's a lot of old TV shows that had like really sad endings like that. Like MASH was another one for me. I really hated watching that show end. And that last episode was just like terrible to watch if you were a longtime fan of that series. And this one I think was no different. Real quick, I want to touch on some of the guest appearances. Now, I only jotted down a few. There were so many. If you go through all the different series and seasons of Night Court and just watch every episode, you're going to see people like, holy shit, that person was in Night Court too. And I think that was one of the things that made a lot of these older shows so damn special, is all these really awesome special appearances, not only by people that were already established, but people that were up and coming. So a few of them that were established, you had Mel Torme, you had Lou Ferrigno, John Aston, many remember as Gomez, Pam Grier, who was an up-and-coming. Alan Oppenheimer was on Night Court. Peggy Pope, which, if you don't remember Peggy Pope, she was in a few different things, including 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton. Up-and-coming Michael J. Fox. Brent Spiner, who was in quite a few episodes, and LeVar Burton as well. Really just amazing, the cast of characters that they brought onto the show to fill out the people that were actually in the court. So,
I saw an episode the other day. Don Cheadle.
Yes.
Yep.
I was like, wow, I didn't even know Don Cheadle was acting at this point.
Adam,
Yeah, I'm okay, Chaos, so I thank you for asking.
well, they already have a new series for it, Chaos.
Yeah, it's not that funny. I watched an episode of it. It's not really funny.
I watched a couple and I couldn't see it. I watched all of Night Court on Freevee. They had it on there. You could watch it for free. So I was watching that a while back, and then they launched the new one. And if you go pilot for pilot, it doesn't hold up at all. Because that
I will say that girl is hot though. That girl is like underrated hot.
Well, she's from The Big Bang Theory, but I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
She doesn't work as Harry's daughter. It
No.
doesn't work. You
No.
can't take what Harry was and then try to put it into this decade.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Well, the Judge Stone character was really interesting, Harry, because he also had a bit of a recurring role, kind of. Now, they didn't say for sure that it was, but it was insinuated that it was because he was also on Cheers.
On Cheers?
Yes.
That's where it started.
There's a theory that he's the same Harry, because I know his name is Harry on Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Harry. He was Harry the Con Man on Cheers.
Yeah, I remember that.
But they insinuated that it was. So, I mean, yeah, and like Adam says, it kind of like Cheers was first. So it kind of like it got its start from there. And then they brought him over and used him for Night Court. What's going on, Miss Martin Muses? And hello to Trina also in the chat.
Trina.
Good to see you. Yeah, modern audience means no audience. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and Brett Spiner as the, I guess, hillbilly guy, if you want to be nice about it. He was great in that role, and I'll be playing some clips from the show in a little bit. I had to dial them up, so hopefully they don't try to hit me for it, but you never know. With all the copyright bullshit, they might try to hit me anyway. We'll see what happens.
You are the most hated.
The hillbilly guy, the one with his wife?
Yes.
That was Brent Spiner?
I'm going to be playing that in a minute. You'll see.
I never realized that was him.
Yep.
Go ahead, Adam.
It's okay.
No, okay. Because no audience like woke trash, right? Toilet tube. Now, before we get into this clip, one of the questions I want to ask everybody, and this including, of course, everybody that's watching, if you guys are watching over on X and you can't find a way to reply, and if I don't see, I should see it. It is linked up, so if you reply on X, I should see it. What was your favorite character in that old Night Court run? Mine personally, I loved Bull. Bull was just so ridiculous. Everything about that character, it was so funny. And it's not to take away from all the other characters on the show. I think they were all great, but I really did like Bull. Slasher, what was your favorite?
I like Bull, but I gotta say the most comedy came from Dan. Like the most laughs I get come from Dan and all the insane things that he says.
Well, then you will be not disappointed.
John Larroquette is awesome. I like John Larroquette.
Well, you won't be disappointed in the clip I'm going to be showing in a little while because there are quite a few Dan moments on that clip.
Yeah, he had a lot of moments.
And it's not that I didn't want to find a bunch of other clips from other people. Unfortunately, trying to find that stuff online, other than trying to break out my seasons and record it for my TV, which usually the audio is horrible doing that. It's usually that there's not much out there. Everything's for the new seasons, and it's the same stuff over and over again on a lot of these people that do have clips. So, Adam.
I didn't have a favorite character because it was a favorite show. I mean, there were so many good ones from the season 1 all the way through, but it's got to be Harry because without him, you don't have the show. You don't get half of the guest stars. Mel Torme would be nowhere to be found because that was all Harry Stone. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. But overall, it has got to be in the top 10 of all time when it comes to series. I mean, it's another good one, but that's not, people pre our generation, I mean, and mine, they're pretty much not going to understand that anymore these days. It's more Game of Thrones and whatever. But yeah, we were spoiled, man. We got good TV with actors that acted. We didn't have all this nonsense that's in the entertainment today. So, but yeah, I have to stick with Harry, man. You kind of wanted to be a musician when he locked himself in the safe.
That was a hilarious episode too.
Yeah.
And he's lighting a lighter in there so you can see what he's doing, knowing that it's going to burn up all the oxygen inside the safe. It's just not a smart move.
And I can't get the janitor's name off top. Like, he was awesome.
Oh, there's a small portion for him in the clip too. There's like one takeaway for him.
But just the cast, man, the cast alone, the hijinks that were of the court that night, of the ladies of the night, if you will, because of YouTube, and just the silly cases he would have. And exactly, everybody didn't matter because you had such a different, because they didn't really have a standard cast at first. You had Dan acting with different people on and on. You know, they had different females coming here and coming in and coming out, and supposedly coming in and out of Dan's bedroom.
The two female bailiffs died in real life, like back to back.
Yep.
Well, most of the cast sadly is gone, and you know it would have been great to see Bull back on there before he passed, but they didn't do it. Again, opportunity missed.
Opportunity knocks only once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Toilet tubes at it again, Chaos. It does not surprise me. But yeah, let's go ahead now. This is exactly what we're talking. And for you copyright hungry son of bitches, we are talking about the show. We're reviewing the show. This is part of a discussion of the show. So please stop with the copyright. This thing has been modified for us to talk about it and to show off to the people so they understand a little bit more about the series. And I think, Adam, when you talked about the acting abilities, a lot of these people on the show, I think that was one of the things that was really a standout when you think about it, because they didn't really do a lot of scenery changes in this show. Nope. 90% of this show either took place in the courtroom or it took place in Harry's office or the cafeteria. That was it. Those were the three main locations. I mean, later on, you might have got Dan's apartment, or you might have get Christine Sullivan's. Yeah, but other than that, we didn't get a lot of anything else in this show. Not really.
I remember when they added the hallway. I mean, for the longest time, you didn't see a lot of the hall going into the court. You know, right. With the shooting boy.
Yeah, and that was just something else they added later on. But yeah, the acting was paramount, because if they couldn't act, this show would not last very long, considering how minute the original scenery in this show was. So here we go. For everybody who is a little bit uninitiated in the original Night Court, or you just want to get that nostalgic trip right here, here goes a nice little montage clip of some of the more funnier scenes, I think, from that Night Court series.
What's up, Mac?
A little case of disturbing the peace at a Star Trek convention, sir.
Admit it, the old Enterprise was a piece of junk.
Oh, yeah? How would you like a Vulcan death grip?
Understand you're looking for somebody that speaks Russian?
Do you speak Russian?
No, but I'll give it a shot.
Hello, it's us.
What is it you really want?
Well, how about, say, dinner at Sardi's, maybe catch Bobby Short at the Carlisle.
And as usual, the accommodations were lovely.
And why you don't charge for that strip search, I'll never know. I think all you're really interested in is sex.
Good to see you again, Miss Sullivan. You're looking as beautiful as ever.
Oh, why, thank you, Mrs. Wheeler.
If it weren't for all the nursing, I'd have breasts like that, too.
Too bad. I respect honesty in a person.
All I'm really interested in is sex.
Excuse me, I'm afraid I'm a little lost. I was wondering if you could direct me?
Certainly. First left, take the corridor, and then follow the yellow brick road.
You're spineless and desperate. All the qualities I look for in a man.
If Dan hadn't been carrying this card, she wouldn't be with us today. Wanda's Whip Emporium.
Meet me at midnight.
Midnight, yes, midnight, that's good, midnight. The other side.
Oh, how to save a choking victim.
Are you forgetting something?
Thank you.
Step 1, give the victim a swift blow to the back to clear air passage. Step 2, clear the mouth of any foreign objects.
Step 3, loosen constrictive clothing.
So there you go with a little bit of a montage from the show right there. Like I said, the ones that I did manage to find, a lot of them were very Dan centric. And yeah, when he got that new boss, the what do you call him, small person? I don't even know what the politically correct term is anymore.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Midget.
Yeah, so when they brought him onto the show, like all the jokes that he was making about Munchkin Land and
him having to kiss that Munchkin ass, though, that was the best part when he dressed up like Snow or with the Scarecrow, and it was a suit and tie.
What about the one where he brought his niece on, and his niece was like, you know, a hot chick, and Dan was like drooling all over himself.
Yep. Oh yeah.
A lot of fun on that show. And like, you know, I could get into like trying to dig down the rabbit hole of all the other special guests that they had on the show. Like some of them, like I said, there's some of them are a huge surprise. But yeah, do you recognize Brett Spiner now?
Yeah, when you showed that clip, I looked at his bug eyes. I was like, oh, okay, now I see it.
Yeah, that was such an awesome character. Also, the guy who was speaking Russian, the Yakov character.
Yakov Smirnov.
Yeah, he
made quite a few. Country. They gave him a show. Do you remember they gave him his own show?
You know, they did so many of those spinoffs. Like,
I don't think it was a spinoff, though. I don't think it was a spinoff.
Oh no,
no, it was supposed to be like, it was called What a Country. It was like a bunch of immigrants.
Yep.
I think they were in like a ESL class or something. English second language, something like that. They were all in a class together for something, and he was the star of it. I didn't particularly like that guy, Yakov Smirnov.
I thought he was funny.
It was hilarious.
I found him kind of annoying.
Oh, he is. He's the annoying. You know, think about if you're the judge having to put up with that shit.
No, I mean the guy in general, Yakov Smirnov. He was a one-trick pony. He was like, "Oh, my accent is so funny. Give me millions of dollars." That's basically what I saw him as.
Well, here's another one, and he was in a few episodes. It wasn't very many, and I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. The guy who played in Rocky, the trainer.
Burgess Meredith?
Yes. Yeah, he was in a couple episodes. He played like a substitute judge.
I missed those episodes.
Yeah, just there's so many of those people you would have missed on a lot of these shows. And like I was talking about this before, with like even like shows with Buck Rogers, they had just so many different people that were rotating in and out as special guests on those damn shows. And I think that was one of the things that really made a lot of these older shows unique, is their ability to be able to do that and not have to always use somebody that was established, like somebody who was up and coming. So, yeah. And then it's like, oh, wow, that person got started here. That's pretty interesting.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cheers. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Cheers, like I was talking about spinoffs, that's where you got Frasier from. Frasier was a spinoff of Cheers. So
I always found it amazing that Frasier's show lasted longer than Cheers did.
Yeah, you know, that is kind of surprising when you think about it, because Cheers was a fun show. Once again, there's another show. It pretty much took place on one single set.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
But it was just
tied the stories from the bar to the other. I think Frasier did it right, though. You knew enough about Cheers in the pilot without having to know anything about Cheers, and if you wanted to check it out, you could. It was storytelling done right. At least I think it was.
Absolutely was. And once again, you're getting back to, if you got limited sets and you got limited budget, you're relying on people to be able to hold that story and make it interesting. And a lot of these older shows always seem to be able to pick the right cast of characters to fill those positions and make it work. And that is definitely something that you are missing from modern entertainment for the most part. I would almost say on the whole, really. I mean, because there's so few modern shows that are out there right now that are really that interesting. Like, and the ones that are semi-interesting, they always find a way to screw them up.
Yep.
I know I'm not going to get into it heavily, but I mean, You look what they're doing with that House of the Dragon show. I've already heard some of the people talking about the shit that they're getting ready to interject into that show and absolutely just ruin it for longtime fans. And I don't get it twisted. I was never a fan. I didn't read the books. I didn't care for it. But other people enjoy that shit, and it's always a shame when you see something that somebody loves so much and they enjoy so much get absolutely destroyed by executives that couldn't give a rat's ass about that franchise. What's going on, Frank?
We have many streams, brother, with lots of people with different that we like that, other people may not have, but we enjoyed it. And then this happened. It doesn't matter what it is. It seems to be every part of entertainment.
It does. It does. What was Frankie? Frankie says Miami Vice had like 55 stars, and most got started in the biz from the show. Nice. Yep. Yeah. And like, once again, going back to that beautiful ability for them to pull people in that were maybe up and coming. And they pretty much gave them their break. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of that. I mean, that's you don't see a lot of that in Hollywood. I mean, I know Lucas did it to a degree with Star Wars and everything, gave pretty much, unknowns or, lesser known people their chances to be able to shine and everything. And sometimes it worked, and then sometimes they became weirdo jackasses, spew a lot of garbage on Twitter.
Yeah, but Tommy, think about it, right? Like, if you go back to when he actually name people wouldn't do his fucking script. I'm sorry. They wouldn't have done Star Wars. They'd have looked at it and been like, nah, man, sorry. For that time frame in the 70s. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way they would have even probably gambled on it. He had to go with no names or newer actors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because most of them probably figured that something like that would be a death sentence for their careers.
I mean, you got to go back to the 70s, man, and not be our age in the 70s, be in the business in the 70s. Logically speaking, anyway. That's how I always kind of viewed it, man. I don't think it had to go the way it did because, yeah, it would have been literally a death sentence to your career at that point. Because until Star Wars, we really didn't have much, like that. And then it just launched from there. We got all the great movies that we used to have and love that are now, classics.
No, I mean, there was quite a few things that were coming out right around the same time as Star Wars, and we're maybe just slightly just after. But yeah, I think a lot of them probably did get a big break, get a big open window because of what Star Wars did, like throwing all these people in there. But a lot of those other ones, they actually pulled in some known actors. I mean, you get Buck Rogers in the 21st century, you get Battlestar Galactica. And then on and on and on. I mean, but if you want to talk about like real trailblazers, actually before Star Wars, you got to talk about Star Trek.
Yep.
What they did on TV with that show really did open a window for a lot of these franchises to really be able to do the kind of stuff that they did later on. And because of what Star Wars and Star Trek were able to do, that's why you got so many of these different shows. Like you started getting Stargate and all these other shows that started popping up. What's the other one, like Red Dwarf or something like that? Like there's so many of them. You can go down a list of all these different franchises. Would they have gotten a start if these guys didn't blaze that trail?
Yeah, man. I mean, because it opened up into what it is now. You know what I mean? The sci-fi was very, very open before. And then once you started hitting Star Trek and Star Wars and Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon and, even the Spider-Man of the 70s and Captain America and, the best that they could do because, again, we were going practical.
Incredible Hulk.
Yep, the Incredible Hulk. Exactly. So, I mean, this is what we had. And look at where we went with it, Harry got to deal with insanity that we would only hear about on TV shows or you would read in the newspaper. We got to see it every day, and then when Nick at Night had it back in the day when it was on Nick at Night, they'd play it for like an hour or two back in the day, way, way back in the day. Now I don't even know what service has it. I'm sure it's on one or two of them. Then you said you got all the DVDs, right? Or were they Blu-ray?
They're DVDs. Yeah. My Xbox, even though the Xbox One is supposed to play Blu-rays, it doesn't always do it for some damn reason. So I usually tend to get the DVD versions because I know they're going to work.
Hell yeah.
Frankie says in the 70s, most studio heads were retiring. The movies were in decline. The 5 directors got their big break: Lucas, Spielberg, Coppola, Scorsese, and John Milius. And Papa brings up a couple other shows, Space 1999 and Jason of Star Command. And what's going on, the Bad Take Bojan? Hope that you're well. Thank you for joining us. Chaos Hoy says George Lucas Star Wars was watchable, where Disney's clown isn't. Yeah. And that's why we don't take a lot of time to talk about it. Which Xbox One do you have? I have no clue. It was the one that came with Assassin's Creed Unity. The wife had picked it up for me because she knew that both my Xbox 360 Slims had burned out thanks to the people that didn't upgrade the other house that we were renting, and it fried everything. So she just got that so I would be able to access my Xbox games. But yeah, I would definitely say this show was it's definitely ranks up in the upper echelon for me. This is definitely one of my favorite shows of all time, and you put this right up there with other shows that I really enjoyed, like Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, The Dukes of Hazzard. There were so many of those older shows like that I list right at the top. And then there's a few that I enjoyed, but I would never say they were in the top, like things that are a little bit lesser known, like Tales from the Gold Monkey. It was kind of like a play off the whole Indiana Jones thing at the time. So, I mean, it was kind of like, it's kind of archaeological in an aspect, but yeah, it was a little bit more goofy, but it was a fun show. I thought I have the full collection of that, but I will say that one problem I do notice with a lot of these older shows when they actually convert them to DVD and stuff like that, for whatever reason, the sound levels are almost always screwed up on all of them. There was a Vietnam era show that came out, and I want to say this was in the 90s. It was called Tour of Duty. A really incredible show.
I remember that. It was late 80s, early 90s, I think.
Yeah. It was a great show, but
the collected
version
was painted black, right?
Yes. But the collected version I have, the sound levels are so jacked up, like the music and the gunfire and everything, loud as shit. The talking parts are so low, you got to try to turn it way up to hear what they're saying. And then the next thing you know, bah, 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 and it's so loud you blow your eardrums.
Now you need a miracle ear.
Yeah, right? S and X runs Blu-rays better. Yeah, that Xbox One, okay. I mean, it's okay. I've got a few Blu-rays that always play in it, like the Warriors, but a lot of the other Blu-rays I have, like Punisher Warzone and Dread, that for whatever reason, they just do not want to play. Like, I have to pop them in and out. Like, maybe I'll get lucky and it'll play. Sometimes it'll play with no sound. Yeah, this thing, it just, I don't know. I would never buy another Xbox ever again after this one. Yeah, they lost my money, and that was a long freaking time ago. So I have no plans. No buying another one.
For the center of the entertainment center, where it could do all, it would play your video games, it would play your movies, and it wasn't supposed to catch on fire and not work.
That's the thing. Yeah, and that's the thing. They didn't always work the way that they were. They were promoted to work, so it's kind of shit. But I God damn, I guess that closes out our discussion of Night Court already. Like, holy crap, cow! I thought it would go a little bit longer than that. Like, not even a full 35 minutes of Night Court. Like,
well, Roz, I mean, we kind of was going down the rabbit hole though, because it was such a good series. So many others that were tight. Like, for me personally, it was kind of cool because right about this time, I was kind of sick 40 years ago, and on the 4th of July, diagnosed with diabetes. So it'll be 40 years on the 4th. Roz was one of the characters that, when this was going on in Night Court, I was at the hospital watching the show, and she was diagnosed with diabetes. Oddly enough, that ended up happening. So, like, I kind of had that with the show as well. Oh, and it was just a good show to begin with. I remember just watching it prime time, even. And you just don't have that anymore. It's really sad.
It is sad. And I mean, and they wonder why so many of us pine for a lot of these older shows and the way that they were done. It's because they were so enjoyable. And for anybody who hasn't watched some of these older shows, I implore you to go out there and watch some of these older shows. Open-mindedly watch them. Don't sit there and watch them with the idea that they need to be fancy and CGI filled like a lot of the newer shows. Just open-minded, just watch them. You'll probably find yourself enjoying it a lot more than you ever realized. And what's going on, Vinny?
Hey guys.
Hey.
How's it shaking?
It's shaking. You missed just about the whole discussion on Night Court already.
Oh, damn it.
Go ahead. Your favorite character.
Oh, shit. John Larroquette was so good on there, but I always like Harry. I like the judge.
It's like you and Adam are in the same boat.
Yeah.
I was the only one that picked Bull.
Oh yeah, man, Bull was great too.
Well, actually, Vinny, my true was I said it was hard to pick anybody because the whole cast was the show because they acted and they were together. But I said for me, it had to be about Harry because without him as the judge, as good as John was, could he be as good without Harry?
Yeah, they played off each other so well.
Yeah,
and both of those guys were giants, by the way.
Yeah,
and Bull. All three of them.
Yep, Bull, Mac. Mac was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Mac was probably my second favorite.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Bad Take Bojan says she enjoys Larroquette in the new Night Court series. I hear that. I heard that from one other person. I don't know. I just can't find myself wanting to get into the show without the cast. At least more of the cast.
Just doesn't work. Like I said, she doesn't. I have no issue with Bernadette, the gal that played Bernadette. I don't know her name, but the new judge. The fact that she's a female and all that, I don't have a problem with. You could almost play her as Harry's daughter. Okay, I could kind of see it, but it's just not the same. Just go pilot the pilot. And it's not the same for me. And I watched a couple episodes. I couldn't, Tommy. I just couldn't get into it. I'm like, you needed Bull. You needed why do we have the people that we have that aren't somehow related or reminiscent to the original cast? There was nothing about the original cast. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm Harry's daughter. Okay.
Oh,
they just didn't do it for me.
Okay, I didn't know that's what they did. Yeah, Frankie's right though. Marky Post, what a set of wheels on her. And basketballs.
That was in the clip. You know what? Since I want to keep the Night Court thing going just a little bit more, and Vinny didn't get to see the clip, so I'm going to play the clip section again because I think that montage clip is a lot of fun. I think you'll enjoy this, Vinny.
What's up, Mac?
A little case of disturbing the peace at a Star Trek convention, sir.
Admit it, the old Enterprise was a piece of junk. Oh, yeah? How would you like a Vulcan death grip?
Understand you're looking for somebody that speaks Russian?
Do you speak Russian?
No, but I'll give it a shot.
Hello, it's us.
What is it you really want?
Well, how about, say, dinner at Sardi's, maybe catch Bobby Shore to the Carlisle.
And as usual, the accommodations were lovely.
And why you don't charge for that strip search, I'll never know.
I think all you're really interested in is sex.
Good to see you again, Miss Sullivan. You're looking as beautiful as ever.
Oh, why, thank you, Mrs. Wheeler.
If it weren't for all the nursing, I'd have breasts like that, too.
Too bad. I respect honesty in a person.
All I'm really interested in is sex.
Excuse me, I'm afraid I'm a little lost. I was wondering if you could direct me?
Certainly. First left, take the corridor, and then follow the yellow brick road.
You're spineless and desperate. All the qualities I look for in a man.
If Dan hadn't been carrying this card, she wouldn't be with us today.
Wanda's Whip Emporium.
Meet me at midnight.
Midnight, yes, midnight, that's good, midnight.
The other side.
Oh. How to save a choking victim.
Are you forgetting something?
Thank you.
Step 1, give the victim a swift blow to the back to clear air passage. Step 2, clear the mouth of any foreign object.
Step 3, loosen constrictive clothing.
Yeah.
Those are great clips. Oh shit.
I was saying earlier I wanted more. Yeah, Bad Take Bochin, we were talking about that earlier. We were talking about all the guest appearances, like people like, you know, who would ever expected that Michael J. Fox was on Night Court?
Oh yeah, man, dude. Yeah, everybody was on it. That show is one of the best shows on TV.
Yep.
By the way, what's up, Chaos Hoy? Yeah, hello everyone. Good stuff though.
I was
live. That's the thing. I remember it being on Prime TV and watching it.
So getting back to Vinny's question, where is the new one airing?
Peacock.
Oh, it's on Peacock? Okay.
Pretty sure.
I didn't know that.
And for a little bit of trivia, in case anybody didn't know, so Harry Anderson,
yep,
in the show is Harold T. Stone. He is a huge Mel Torme fan. He was legit a real life Mel Torme fan in real life, and he had actually talked to Mel Torme to get him to come on the show. So
I remember that. Yeah. Oh, another fun fact: Mel Torme. I share the same birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
And Mel was on many episodes. And if anybody was going to do a portrait, I do know a gentleman that can draw really, really good portraits that have the
Who's
same.
paying me? Yeah, the Velvet Frog. That was his nickname, though.
Yeah, Chaos. I believe this is one of Michael J. Fox's earliest roles was on Night Court. And Bad Take Bochin, getting back to the Brent Spiner thing. I don't know if you remember this or not. They also had LeVar Burton on there, which is kind of interesting. The Velvet Fog. That was his first.
Yeah, that was his.
I don't know, man. The charges, you'd go to get the lunch, there'd always be something going on. You never knew who Dan was going to try to sleep with. That was always interesting. What shenanigans were going to happen with the building?
Yeah, you know what's kind of funny. So before, like, you wind up having everybody push the agenda shit in everybody's face. A lot of these comedy shows would make fun of some of this stuff, like like the reactions of people, what they would get. And I don't know if you remember the one. There was the two airline stewardess that were like from Sweden or something that Dan was sleeping with, and it was right around the same time that Harry lost his place from flooding or something, and he had the dog with him, the stray dog.
Okay.
And the dog bit Dan. And then Dan had they thought that they were going to have to start rabies shots and everything on Dan, and they were going to be extremely painful and everything. And they told the two stewardess that he couldn't, and then they admitted to him that they were trans.
Yeah,
but the reaction wasn't quite what you would expect the leftists to say. They're like, "Oh my God!" He was you could tell Dan was a little bit revolted by it, but it was kind of like. He accepted it what it was and just moved about his day. Okay, well, that's not for me, and that was the end of it. That was the end of it. There was no more, no more going over it, whining and crying about it, like they think so many people do. It's just like, ugh, really? That's not for me. Move on.
Who was the homeless guy that was Dan's gopher?
Oh,
I forgot what his name was.
Phil.
Okay.
Phil.
Do you remember when Phil died and then Dan found out that Phil had money, that Phil was actually rich?
Yeah, that he was rich. And that's when his brother Bill comes into play.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Frankie. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry,
They
Adam.
just told him the whole time, though. With every season, somehow Dan would end up being the butt of the joke.
Mm-hmm.
At some point in a few episodes. I mean, it just never didn't happen.
Well, that's the thing, because he was such a dick to people. Like he was smart, he was good, but he was such a dick. So that's why they did that. So that's why it balanced itself out. It was smart in the writing. But yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I said that before. Didn't I say that?
The Velvet Fog? I don't know. Maybe I didn't hear it.
Maybe I cut out.
Possibly, or maybe somebody here was interrupting me. That does happen.
It's all right.
And one of the episodes I always thought was absolutely hilarious. Remember the one where Dan got cornered in a hotel room by the crazy woman who was like doing scenes from different movies?
Yeah, the one who had a split personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
She it wasn't there a psycho scene in that too, almost.
Well, I remember that. Didn't she have a gun? Wasn't she holding her at gunpoint?
Yeah, I think that was towards the end. Yeah.
They've been running these on IFC like all during the day lately.
And see, for the longest time, I could not find these things playing anywhere, and that's why I was looking everywhere for the DVDs. And at first I started collecting season by season because that was the only way I could find it. And then my wife went online and she found a whole collected case, and I'm assuming that it came from Walmart because it looks like the style that they do. Because I have an Eddie Murphy like 14 movie disc set that's done exactly the same way as the Night Court one. But yeah, now I've got all 9 seasons of Night Court. So now I've got the extra single ones. I think maybe at some point when things are a little bit more financially stable here for me and I run another Going Old School, I might give them away as prizes. I'll do like some trivia and stuff like that and award it to the winner. So that'd be fun to do. And what's going on, Gap? Gap After Dark is with us as well. I hope that you're doing well. Bad Take Bojan. The sweet part of the new series is watching Dan deal with the loss of Harry and the death of his wife. Ooh.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they got some good writing then. Because John Larroquette, man, that guy, he knows how to act his ass off.
Well, wasn't he supposed to head up the new Night Court? Like, wasn't he supposed to be one of the main people, like, dealing with the scripts?
Well, if you remember, not too long after Night Court ended, they gave him his own show. He wasn't Dan, but they gave John the John Larroquette show. It was actually called. I think it ran for maybe a couple seasons,
Yeah, but he wasn't the same character.
3 seasons max, I think.
But he wasn't the same character, though.
No, he wasn't the same character, but they still gave John Larroquette his own show.
Yeah, he had a couple of TV series.
He was on like Criminal Minds or some of the other. He's been on other shows as well since Night Court, and he did an awesome job. I mean, I really wanted to like the new Night Court. I just couldn't. There's too much of today's crap in it.
Gotcha.
There's some good writing, but yeah, I mean that's just it. John's wife died. Harry's gone, and Harry's daughter goes to get him to come to the courthouse. And then I watched 3 episodes. I just couldn't. Like I said, it just wasn't the same.
And it's a shame. You would hope that they would hit everything that they need to. I mean, who are they trying to pull in if they're not pulling in fans of the original series?
Right.
Well, it took a minute to get the original cast right. Again, though, I thought that kind of told the tale in New York more, though, with different, all the different and how courts actually do work. You don't always have the same prosecuting, defending attorneys are going to be in the same time or whatnot. So like that was fine to have different bailiffs and whatnot. Bull being the main one. Yeah, that was great. And then he was in the Bull, like when he broke the mug, then glued it back together and glued his hand to his head and Roz his finger. Was it Roz? Was it it was the old woman ripped his pulled the fingers off and he had the long
the bailiff.
Yeah.
Selma.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, Selma, and she ended up pulling his finger. I mean, the stuff that happened, and then when he got upset because, the older gals were passing away, just the character, but the way that he pulled that off, because he could. I mean, we've seen him in other things.
Yeah,
Richard Moll's been in quite a few different. I mean, like from Highlander to movies and everything, and I don't know, man. He was that character. You're not going to remake Bull.
No, he was good. Did he pass too, Richard Moore?
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, it was pretty recent. Yeah. And what's going on, Soul Assassin? What's up, man? Sup, gents, Guineas, and future felons of America. Yeah.
But I think that's why the new one doesn't quite work as well either, because it's kind of hard to duplicate the same thing.
Yeah.
And even setting like have the issues that it was a female judge, female bailiff, and female. This. That didn't bother me. That was fine because we had that in the original series, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We did. Again, that wasn't what bothered me. It was
matter of fact, Adam, to hammer that point home. Besides Burgess Meredith stepping in as a temporary judge when they fired Harry, they also had a female judge that sat in.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had a problem with it back then, not at all, and that is a very good point to make. Well, a Gap After Dark. Do you guys remember the show Empty Nest and the show Wings? I do remember Wings. I vaguely remember Empty Nest.
Yep, same. Wings was awesome.
Wasn't Empty Nest they were like neighbors with the Golden Girls or something? It was the old dude with the white hair, and what's his name? The one who had the car commercials. With Subaru Joe. Was that the guy? I can't remember their names.
Bad Take Bojan says Mr. Bojan likes the actress playing Harry's daughter and calls her a wingnut.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah. Isn't she the Bernadette one from?
Bernadette. She's a great actress. I don't have an issue with it. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with her either. It's just, for me, it just didn't. It wasn't the same. You can't replicate it.
Yeah,
it was already Frankie, better.
Frankie, some of them do, and some of them don't. I know that a lot of them, they tend to wind up getting pushed to other sites as well. So Walmart tends to pull from other sources. And I know when my wife found this one, she found it on Amazon and found it a lot cheaper, I think, than what Walmart had. And like Walmart also had, you were talking about shows where they have revolving people that coming in and out of the roles. Another one I think it did it really well, and I've talked about it a few times, is Barney Miller, where they had different detectives that would rotate in and out of the series.
Okay. Yeah, Barney Miller was fucking fantastic. I love that.
Highlander is a classic. Yeah, I recently just watched the. Oh Jesus, what was that one I was telling you about? Slasher. Not the Force. The. Oh God. Whatever is supposed to be the main power behind the Highlanders, and it has Adrian Paul in the end of it, and he can have a kid with the one chick.
And Endgame.
The Source. No, the Source. Thank you. The Source.
Oh, okay.
God, it was god awful.
I thought the Source was.
That's the last one in the series.
Okay,
that's number 5.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That one, it was a more limited release or some shit.
Yeah, and it's getting back to that Barney Miller one. They had the full complete series at Walmart, and at the time I wanted to get it and just didn't have the money, and it was only $25. And I was cursing up and down that I didn't have the money to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Hate when that happens.
Oh, what's up, Time Prophet? And what's going on in Monotony?
Go there.
Oh, yeah. The Force is lesbian. That's right.
It was a spinoff of the Golden Girls. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, because that dude was awesome. Was it David Leisure, I think was his name. He played that Joe Subaru guy.
Joe Isuzu?
Joe Isuzu, that was it.
Yeah. No, you get credit.
Hilarious.
Vinny. Damn.
Huh?
Yeah, I was sitting there going, I was like, man, what was that motherfucker's name? I said, close. You were so close.
Yeah.
Dude, Soul Assassin says, I need a time machine to go back to this chaotic time y'all maniacs dwell from. I'm a 90s kid. Yeah, but even in the 90s, a lot of these shows were in syndication, and they were always being played on late night TV. So, I mean, you should have had a chance to have seen a lot of it. Some series have episodes cut or edited on Blu-rays. Yeah, and that's why I tend to look for the older ones that don't have anything. And then that's why there's a lot of people talking. I know Fanzine is big on talking about physical media. Vinny is as well. I mean, matter of fact, everybody on this panel is, and a lot of our other friends are as well. It's very important that if you really love these older shows, get them on physical media now before they wind up tampering with the original ones.
Yep. Good bastards.
Bastards, I tell you. You got to get it in your hand, man, because once it's in your hand, they can't change it.
That's right. Time Machine. There's really only 2 Highlander movies, and I would not disagree with that, even though the second one was kind of
The TV
Gilligan's
series,
Island, yes.
the TV series had so many great moments
Yep.
and really good episodes, and then there was like seasons that were just like so shitty. But for the most part, Adrian Paul was fantastic. I just wish they didn't screw up Endgame so badly, but they sabotaged that series on purpose. The studios were upset or whatever; they didn't want to continue it, and because I saw the director's cut of Endgame, and it was actually good, but there was no special effects put into it. And it was different. It was more hopeful too. Connor wasn't a piece of shit because remember throughout that film, it's like he wanted to off himself.
Yeah. He went to the sanctuary and was just there was always more. And I mean, I met Adrian. He was awesome. The series was good, but remember they were trying to follow it up with Amanda and the Raven because again, we already have seen where they were trying to have female-led shit and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Facts. The Raven had one season with Amanda.
But also, in fact, The Raven only aired at an insane hour at night. It was like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. is when it aired. It didn't have a proper schedule. It's like, oh, well, you know what? This is in the can. Let's just release it anyway.
I listened to the DVDs, had commentary and stuff. And originally there was an episode where there was a female Highlander with nice jugs. It's wet, and you see Nick. Anyway, red hair. That was who they said they originally had as a back to instead of Amanda, is what they wanted to actually do. You know, and then again, it took years before they even pushed with the Amanda thing. But like, yeah, we always had a plan to also have other immortals have stories because, you know, it wasn't just going to be about Duncan, I guess, originally. But yeah, I don't care, man. I love the original series. I have it. You know, I've got it on VHS and Blu-ray or DVD.
Yeah.
And I've got like multiple versions of the movies because the second movie, like, it's funny. It wasn't supposed to be filmed the way it was. It was supposed to be a little bit different. But again, it's still the same shitty movie. But it was a funny movie for its time. It was the first one, because I thought the first one was it, right? We weren't going to get another movie after that. It did so good, they said, make another one. So they did. And then you got the third one, which you could kind of tie in with the TV series because, okay, this is what he's been doing this whole time. Again, it was just another movie. But I mean, again, we could go see these and have fun. And we could go to the coffee shop or, you know, the bar or wherever, Denny's, Big Boys, and go have a conversation after the movie. And have a good time, you know. I miss those days.
Yeah, same.
And you know, this is one of the things that I love about going old school. It gets everybody in the chat reminiscing as well, and everybody's talking about all these old shows. Like, you know, Gap After Dark brought up Gilligan's Island. Chaos Hoy earlier brought up Highlander, and that's why we're kind of mentioning it now. Frankie was bringing up Taxi 3's Company, Too Close for Comfort. Time Prophet's talking about they already started doing some editing on some of the movies. Yeah, and that's why you got to be careful. Scramble's talking about the love for old stuff, old video games, VHS, DVDs, CDs, vinyl, like amazing stuff, man. There's nothing wrong with keeping them. I still have a ton of them. My wife wanted to throw out all my CDs, and I was like, oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. Especially with some of the cool artwork that was on those ones. Nah. Frankie also says Little Rascals, Benny Hill as well.
Oh, dude, Benny Hill was the best. I played some of that stuff, last week?
A Gap After Dark, Chico and the Man, and Sanford and Son. And it's funny you mentioned Chico and the Man. I was watching that just recently on Tubi because they have a bunch of the episodes on Tubi. They don't have the complete run of it, but they have a few seasons of it on Tubi. So I was kicking back watching that as well. Time Prophet also says Raven, who was a female Highlander, had her own spinoff series. Monotony mentions Alien Nation.
Oh, yeah. Remember that too. Yeah. Oh, but and another sad fact, not a fun fact, that Raven chick, she got plowed by Bill Clinton as well.
Bill Clinton, and testified against it, and they did it, and they still didn't listen.
And Soul Assassin, you are absolutely correct. Remember, Goodwill, pawn shops, and garage sales are excellent places to find some cool stuff. And I found some gems in one of my local Goodwills. Like, these people just turn these damn things in. All these old movies and TV shows and everything like that. Like, awesome stuff to be able to find. And dirt cheap, too, on top of it. And I've never gotten a bad one from there yet. Knock on wood. So far. Yes, Frankie, that's another one. Welcome back, Cotter. They have that on Tubi as well. I was rewatching that. I love those old shows, man. They were just
A lot
so
of good
much fun.
stuff on Tubi, man. Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Yeah, and I know, like Fancy, always talks about the evils of a lot of the streaming services, and I think Tubi is one of the few that does it right, because there's no kind of sign up for it. I mean, if you sign into it and create an account, it's just so you can save your progress on the shows that you're watching. But other than that, they don't charge you for that shit. You go on there and watch it for free. Okay, they have commercials. So what? When we used to watch these shows back in the day, they used to have commercials on too. So I don't mind that. And plus, you know how many commercials come up because they tell you in the corner of the window. Okay, you got 1 out of 4, 1 out of 6 if it's like a maximum, and they tell you how much time is left on the commercial for you back to the show.
Pee break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when we watched it on cable, we'd end up with like 15 minutes of commercials. Here you get like 5.
No, God forbid if you got one of those like as seen on TV infomercials that was like 20 minutes long.
Yeah. That's how they made it an hour program.
Yeah.
Oh, Soul Assassin, you've never gone to Tubi yet. Tubi.
Yep.
Look it up. Like every streaming service, you should be able to find an app for that, no matter what you're looking from. Check out Tubi, dude. They have lots of cool older stuff on there, man.
And
An absolute
is the other one that's free as hell, just like Tubi. And they
Freevee, I think it's called.
Yeah, Freevee. That's because that used to be the other one that was a different name, and they changed it to Freevee. But yeah, man, those are like the main two that have like everything that you're gonna look for. And then like the Pluto sometimes will too. I don't pay for any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's all free.
Nice.
Yeah, they have a lot of great old cartoons. They do. But yeah, we're an hour in. Now I feel good that we are coming to the close of Night Court. I wanted to at least pull an hour on it. It's the main topic, and such a wonderful show. But I want to bring up a few more going old school things since we got us all here together. I'm going to get into something that I haven't done in a while. This is kind of a rehash from many, many years ago. So those that are just joining us get a little bit of taste of some of the things that we do on Going Old School. It's not always just TV shows. Sometimes it's older toys and other stuff as well. So we're going to get into our Going Old School toy break. And one last one that I actually still have in my collection is from Ideal in 1977. This was considered part of the Star team. Now, I did have a few other ones. Unfortunately, they got mangled over my father's house, but I do still have the Starbot. This kind of came off the heels of Ideal's Zeroids line. So this same design was used in that as well. Now it has an on-off switch for the light. Now unfortunately this light doesn't work in this guy anymore. I think I might be able to replace it, but yeah, there you go. $1977. And if you see, it's got the earlier Zeroids 1968 stamp on it as well, because once again, this was just reused from the Zeroids line. Kind of taking advantage of some of the stuff that Star Wars was putting out by putting out a droid like this. Then they had a tall bipedal droid, and they had another guy who was called the Dark Knight. It almost looked like a Darth Vader ripoff. That was one of the ones I actually had in my collection. I did bring him back, but unfortunately he's in pieces because my dad buried him under an avalanche of other boxes that crushed the chest of the figure and crushed the head of it. So it is what it is. Guys, remember this one? I still like these things. I'm gonna have to take this bulb out of here and see if I can get this thing to work again. I always like these damn things. I miss playing those freaking old toy breaks from the Golden Old School show. I haven't used one of them in so damn long, but yeah, those things were a lot of fun too. It's kind of cool how they reused some of that stuff over the years, and like some people probably didn't even notice it because it might have been before their time. But toys are better when they had built-in functions and not connected to the Wi-Fi. Couldn't agree more. We already got some trading going on here with the Time Prod. I give you 2 Daleks, a Robot K9, and 4 rusty bolts. Maybe I could throw in a sonic screwdriver with a flat battery too.
That's great.
Pretty awesome. Also have I prepared a little bit today, digging another one out from an older show. It's another thing that I see these things on Twitter all the time. There's a few of these guys, like the guy that does a lot of retro stuff. He's posting a lot of stuff, and it's like every time he posts something, like, dude, I still have that. Matter of fact, one of the ones he did today was the Jaws game. I was like, I still have it. I did a video about it a while back. But he got me thinking about some of the other things that nobody talks about. So here's your old school media break. Everybody, what's going on? Brand new segment right here for Going Old School. We've got Old School Media Break. So we're going to start off with these right here. Look at that, the Monster Series, Superheroes, Go Ape. What are we talking about? We are talking about the book and record sets. So, of course, we got Planet of the Apes right here in the back. You got a 45 record to go along with the story in the book. And yeah, this was almost like a full comic in here. This was really awesome to have back in the day. So we got Escape from the Planet of the Apes. We got Dracula, Terror of Snow. And we got the Monster of Frankenstein, as well as Superman. Somewhere else in the mess, I know I have a Spider-Man and a few other ones. Guys, these things were a lot of fun. Do you remember these? I mean, look at that price. $1.49 for these things back in the day. Do you remember these ones? Let us know what you think about this.
That was sweet.
I love bringing those things. I did find a few more of them later on, but yeah, holy crap, man. Those things are just a blast. Gap After Dark has something shared in there. I can't pull it out, Vinny. I don't know if you can grab that.
Where?
Right here. Gap After Dark. It's at 805. I don't know if you can get to that.
I gotta go. Let me go to YouTube.
Yeah, I unfortunately. And Time Prophet, Goodyear. It's not exactly a black hole. I did take it and I altered it a little bit, so they can't hit me for anything. So I took basically the black hole music, I altered it ever so slightly, added a few more sound effects, and yeah, pitch changes and everything else, and created something that was a little bit different from the original. Digging the monsters, yeah, the monster story. I love the Frankenstein's monster book. That was like so much fun to read with the freaking 45 record on. Yeah. Those things were an absolute blast.
The first thing that caught my eye when the screen came up was I saw a man thing. I saw a man thing at the top of where it said monster.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool, man. I like those.
Yeah, those things are so much fun. Black Hole is one of his favorite Disney movies, huh? That was before they started putting out trash.
Yeah, here it is. Fantastic.
What did you walk into? You walk into Going Old School. Who knows what's going to happen? What's going on till that? What's up, Godzillionaire? I'll be afraid of a new Disney movie or show called Black Hole.
Oh shit!
So here's a funny one in the Old School. I think it was the Toy Break one. I actually have the chicken there shaking the shake weight. So when I picked up all that stuff from my dad's house, you want to guess what he had sitting in the house?
What?
a shake weight, and it's sitting here, and I'm like,
Damn
I was
shake.
just laughing
Oh,
too hard to throw it away. I was like, too damn funny.
That's fantastic.
Hell no.
I'm getting flashbacks to when I wore leotards and leg warmers. What's up, Keely? Yeah, shit happens here. It does, Chaos. It does. Oh, how do you work along them? It's just a close up of their faces, and you're complaining, Frankie. Come on now, Frankie.
What are you, gay?
What are you, an AEW watcher?
Oh shit!
Hey, there's no bats in here.
See, now that music's stuck in my head.
By judging by the hair, it's pretty close. More close-ups. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. It is indeed. So, I'm going to roll over with one more thing here. There was only so many things I could actually prepare for the show because I actually, ladies and gentlemen, I did not plan for this show. I just woke up this morning and said, I feel like doing a Going Old School show, and just threw this together as quickly as my internet would allow me.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I did want to, and I was talking to Vinny and a few other people that I did want to go back and talk about Night Court again. I just think it's such an underappreciated TV show. And I want to start doing that with some of these other TV shows that I think are just like at this point are just overlooked, and people ignore how great these damn shows were. And of course, a lot of the older toys and other old school media, like those records right there. I want to go back to talking stuff like that again too, as well. I mean, we do swap in with Cage Talks, and of course, we have the toy stream. Vinny, Slasher, and Trina all co-host together, and we have a blast talking about a lot of newer stuff. We do interject a few older things in that show as well, but this show specifically is nothing but the old stuff that everybody just, so many of us remember so fondly. And some people I think forget why we remember them so fondly. Like that doesn't matter. Yeah, it absolutely does matter.
Mm-hmm. I agree, dude.
There you go, Adam showing off some of his cool stuff.
Yep, because it's some of the like the last good stuff that we're gonna get. Because everything else now, like Adam was saying, it's got agenda in it. It's poison.
And where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in it?
Exactly, bro. Oh, by the way, you're muted. By the way, super fan.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I think he knew. He was just showing things off.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the dogs were barking.
All right.
Told that, hey, Tommy, thanks for having me on the casting couch the other day. I could do a part 2, and mine was the longest. Yeah, he did. He actually beat you out for the end segment on the dirt, Adam.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, Soul Assassin, some things I do plan out. The toy streams are almost always 100% planned. We know what toys we're going to be filming and bringing up to talk about. So, I mean, there is a plan to going, to the collectible past, but going old school, usually I have a plan for it. This one, it was kind of like, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I had nothing definitive, and I just kind of ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
Why, that's just nuts.
Vinny, you are my poison, says Tolbat.
What? What did I do?
Right, Godzillionaire? The good old days when the only agenda in cartoons was to sell more toys. Absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chaos Hoy. He had showed that off when I had him on. It was actually in the green room after the show, I think. He got the Star Wars R2-D2 Xbox 360 with all the sound effects and everything. That thing is awesome. Cool. I don't know. He might have shown it off on Cage Talks. I forget now. That was a little while. We are going to wind up getting Chaos Hoy back on again, and I will put the invitation that if anybody in the chat ever decides they want to stop on and talk with this mean old rotten pig, you are more than welcome to stop on and talk about some of the things you enjoy about YouTube. Doesn't necessarily have to be about whether you have a channel or not. It's just about what you enjoy about YouTube and maybe what you enjoy seeing on other channels. We can alter the questions to actually accommodate you. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
No political bullshit. You're damn right.
That's it.
I think I still have my Star Wars trading cards. You know what? I found a whole bunch of my dad still had of mine too. It was really cool. Some of them were not in good shape though.
That's cool that you had them though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Absolutely right. I did show a few of the scenes with him. I did play it a second time, Time Prophet. You might have got in right after I played it the second time, though. It's no worries. You could always rewind it and go back and check it out. It's a good little montage segment. I think you enjoy it.
Yeah, it was
Drove
fun.
my truck out on the beach today. We had an entire football field of beach to ourselves. It was wonderful.
Oh wow!
Awesome.
Dude, it's been raining over here again. Storms freaking
Yeah. We got it here again as well.
Yep.
But let's get into the last prepared segment that I had for today's show.
Okay.
And then if there's anything else you guys want to talk about that's old school, by all means, just go right ahead and just wing it like I did. This whole show was a wing. Here we go. Did someone say old school? It doesn't get any more old school than He-Man. And it sure as hell don't get any more old school than that old toy line Masters of the Universe from the 1980s. Now, in the later half of the 1980s, they wound up coming out with rock guys. So they had Stondar, which we have here, and they also had Rock On. Really oddball designs, like really weird. It just seems like everybody was kind of getting into the transforming craze. And of course, also in 1986, we got this guy. We've got Stoneheart from the GoBots Rock Lords. These things were kind of interesting, but they were not going to save the GoBots franchise, just like these rock guys were not going to help the floundering He-Man at that point. Still, an interesting concept, which is no place to go because, you know, if kids want to play with rocks, they're just going to go outside and pick them up and throw them around, not get a toy to throw. I don't quite understand what they were going for. The concept was kind of almost interesting while being absolutely retarded all at the same time. But anyway, guys, do you remember these? Do you remember Stondar and Rock On from the Masters of the Universe line? Or do you remember the Rock Lords from GoBots? Hope you have a good one, and thank you for being here for Going Old School.
GoBots, Battle of the Rock Lord.
Yep, I had those. I remember them.
Those things were the peg warmers at my local toy store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody wanted those.
I think that's why we got them. You had a relative who's like, oh, yeah, it says
He-Man.
He-Man.
$1.99?
Probably. Yeah, those things
No, I'm saying, like, they look at the price tag, like $1.99, so I'll get like 10 of them and hand them out for Christmas.
Yeah.
Army building, right?
Army building rocks.
Well, you
Or
see,
no, you just hand them to your different nephews and friends, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, I had seen, you know, and the reason I wanted to bring that one up again, because it wasn't that long ago that the new Origins line that actually introduced Stondar and Rock On, or did they just do Rock On? I'm pretty sure they did both, but they just introduced them into the Origins line. And while they're, you know, updated for modern articulation, all that stuff, I mean, it's still the same damn concept. It just turns into a damn rock. I would say,
Tommy, think about it. When your parents say go outside and play with a rock or something, you play with your Transformer rock.
Yeah, and
hide it amongst the real rocks and try to figure out which is which.
Well, the reason we only got that one right there is because he kind of had a face kind of similar to the creature from the Black Lagoon, and it was the only reason we wound up picking that one up. We didn't have any of the other ones. Okay. Didn't care. Time Prophet says he give me 2 pebbles and a house brick for those. It's a rocky start. No, it's a rocky ending. it's a rocky fall off the cliff. If you paint those rocks brown, you got poop bots.
Oh, so then you were seen by Biden.
Rock hard bots. Oh, Jesus. Hilarious. So I did have a few other things that I was going to just bring up real quick. Some of the older things that I do have in my collection. So this one is actually the oldest. I did look at the date on the bottom, and it does say 1958. So we got the little Snoopy in his rowboat.
Okay.
That's awesome. 1958. That's
Wow.
That's badass.
Yeah, so this is one of the earlier ones. This didn't have the wind back feature. It actually had the feature where you pushed it forward and then the wheels kept the momentum going. Those type of spinners, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I've had this one since I was a kid. I'm imagining it was a pass down. Like my father had it and then he gave it to me. So it's
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool. He's still in decent shape. He's got most of his paint on it too, especially from something that long ago.
Yeah.
Right
Dude,
on.
that's
It's
great.
just nice to see one, man. It's been forever.
Yep.
And yeah, Snoopy. I also still have this, and I just thought it was so cool to still have this. So they started doing these in like the 1970s. Now the back of this Smokey the Bear Junior Ranger card is actually dated from 1971. I mean, obviously, I wasn't born in 71, 72. So, but they were still printing them out, and yeah, you got a little badge with it. You got your little certificate that you would sign. So that was something too. That was kind of cool that I still have from way back then.
Nice.
And then 1980 superhero pens, and I always thought these were so weird. So these were part of one of those, you donate to a charity type thing, and they'll give you a stack of these pens. I always thought it was so weird that they had Superman, Incredible Hulk, and Spider-Man in it. Like you would think that they would have just all Marvel or all DC. No, they had DC and 2 Marvel.
I think I have
A lot of the companies, though, when you see the older toys and memorabilia, like all the collectibles, Marvel and DC were shared by, like Mego made both Marvel and DC figures.
Yeah.
A lot of these, like, it seemed like Marvel and DC actually played nice back then with each other.
a little bit, yeah.
Kind of had to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Frankie's saying they look real familiar.
Yeah. I think we had them.
But like Pez had Marvel and DC characters.
Still do.
All right, so here's another blast from the 80s, and I know some of you younger pups ain't gonna even like fathom the idea of this, but one time they were smoking in fast food restaurants, and actually all restaurants.
Yeah, pretty much.
I still have a few of the proofs of purchase right here. Burger King, McDonald's, and Arby's.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I remember those.
Here's one of the ones from a diner. When they closed the diner down, they sold the ashtrays. It's just an ashtray from a diner when you go to the diner to smoke.
They took pride in those ashtrays.
Yeah, they did, man.
Yeah, there was a few of them actually had really fancy ones. Like these ones were like cheap tin and everything like that, especially the McDonald's and the Arby's. The Burger King was actually a pretty sturdy metal though. But cool. Some of the other ones had even better ones than that, where they were all kinds of embossed and whatnot. So another one would have been in the 80s, Mr. Peanut. So they had the big Mr. Peanut head. You would sometimes see these in stores, and they'd be filled with peanuts, and you'd pull a bag of peanuts out and take it up to the register.
Yep.
Somehow we wound up with one of these, and inside of it is my wife's popple.
It's a popple.
That is hilarious.
The popple was the little weird, like almost like bear-looking, like stuffed animals that you would fold up into a ball.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Popples?
Yeah.
I remember those.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember those stupid things.
Then, of course, the side of an old NES, the original NES in the box. So.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
And it still works as far as I know.
No shit.
The power pad still works?
Well, we didn't have the power pad in this one. This is just the NES. So.
I used to have the Advantage. I used to have that. That thing was. I beat so many games by cheating with that fucking thing.
Is it
I
really?
thought I was able to beat the Jaws game.
That's funny.
This is when have Chinese companies cared about copyrights, right? Speaking of out of smoking, McDonald's, Burger some people steal the cups, others silverware. But after that, Tommy takes the ashtrays.
They used to be free, though, man. They had stacks of them. You could just take them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought. Yeah, I went up to the counter a few times just to ask for a brand new ashtray and just put it in my pocket.
I mean, we had Steak and Shake, and they had where like one section was smoking and one section wasn't. And it's like, but the smoke still comes through the whole damn restaurant. I'm like, this is retarded. Yeah. Oh, the times they were a-changing.
Yep.
That's funny.
Zoll says, and I have an office box full of NES games. Don't know where the hell they came from, but I have them.
Nice.
And Frankie knows. Popples, yeah, they had a live-action TV show or TV movie. Yeah, they had a cartoon for it. I know that much. And they probably had, like, freaking Popples on Ice, too. Everything did at some point. You want old fast food ashtrays? Yeah, who would have thought? I would have never thought something like that. I actually still have a few with the old Camel Joe.
Oh,
they used to have him on the ashtrays. Yeah, I still have a few of those.
That's cool.
Hey, over 3 years ago, my last pack of cigarettes, and they were Camels.
Oh, shit.
The box is still sitting out here. I just left it there. You know, there's nothing in it, but
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, Godzillionaire. Yeah, back when it used to be America, and you could smoke indoors. And yeah, you could smoke inside the freaking malls, too. Those big indoor malls, you used to be able to smoke at them.
Targets.
Shit, you used to be able to smoke on a plane. It's insane.
You used to be able to smoke in a hospital.
Yeah. Well, you had a doctor they were hanging out their mouths. They didn't give a shit.
You could smoke in the waiting room of a hospital.
Yep. Yep. And you didn't have to go outside.
Yeah. It's like an Italian butcher. You know, he's got the cigarette hanging out of his mouth. The doctor's operating on people. He's like, oh, it's just a little bit of ash. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. He's born again. Now you're Jewish. Little ash for you. Little ash for you.
Don't worry, but don't worry about it. Time Prophet says, I have a 48K ZX Spectrum with PSU, a historic computer. Nice.
Wow.
Scramble says, I have quite a few NES games. Not that many, though. I remember when planes had the ashtrays in the seats, yeah, and all the cars standard came with freaking, like the older cars came with the little metal pop-up ones in the back.
Transpo, baby. You could smoke on the Transpo.
Used to be able to smoke in high school.
Yeah. In the boys' room, right? Smoking in the bathroom.
Castaway also has a lot of NES games. So the last thing I did have for today, this is actually a modern, well, it was more of a modern release they had at Target. Because Target, while they're a pain in the ass, they do a lot of like the retro re-releases of toys, like in old games and stuff. And I can appreciate that stuff. And a number of years ago, they had redid these. So my wife was a fan when she was a kid. So I picked her up one. And then she yelled at me for buying her a toy because she said, I'm not like you. I don't want toys. But you said you liked this when you were a kid. That doesn't mean I want another one.
But it smells like strawberries.
Right? I guess it was a good thing I didn't get her the rest of them.
He removed them from his cart.
He stopped at one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he removed it from the cart. I'm not putting that on layaway now, boys.
Right.
Put it back.
She's getting crucified.
Yeah, no, I thought it was the office meetings didn't last long because it broke out in a smoker's cough.
I think everybody's got scarred lungs from back then.
Nice.
Oh, hell, we got it just for being outside.
Yeah, secondhand smoke.
Exactly.
I know mine were all fucked up.
Shit, sorry.
Oh, Frankie says those strawberry shortcakes are scented. That's how Sleepy Joe started his hobby. Oh, Jesus.
Shit.
Oh, Frankie.
I don't doubt it.
But anything else you guys want to talk about? That is all the pig had available.
No, I don't have nothing.
No, I'm good, man.
Yeah, good?
Yeah.
Adam, all good?
I just
cool
say...
talking about Night Court.
Go ahead, Slasher.
Oh, no, I said it was cool talking about Night Court. I like talking old shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's, more people need to go. If you haven't seen this, go back and watch it. You'll understand why we're upset with the newer stuff that's coming out, because it's shit. It's been shit for a long time, but now it's just shit. So, he said Bullfrogs even agree. At least they ain't gay. Yeah, that's, I'm hanging out with the non-gay Bullfrogs and, having a good time with my pals. And that was an awesome show. I love it. And again, it's in the top 10 of all time in my book.
Hey, appreciate you coming on, Adam, Slasher, and Vinny as well. And
Yeah,
I
brother.
want to thank everybody that was in the chat hanging out with us too. And Soul Assassin, I respect the guy who could pump gas while smoking a cig, tempting fate with every gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
that should be a commercial for a gas station.
I think
got
it is in New York.
got a question here. Did anyone here watch Exo Squad? I vaguely remember it. I didn't watch it, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Slasher.
Oh no, I said I don't remember it at all. I remember what was the one with the other one with the one with the power suits, Centurions? Is that one?
Yes.
Yeah, that one I remember. Yeah,
I remember that.
I had those toys. It was like Earth, air, and water, I think.
Thank you, Soul Assassin. That was another one. It was a lot of fun, like the old school stuff like that. And I'm going to get back to doing more of that with going old school. It's just been a minute. Like I get so tied up. Like Vinny knows, Slasher knows, like Adam knows. Like most of the people that I usually stream will understand like all of the trouble I go through just being able to get some of this stuff uploaded with this CenturyLink stuff. Like sometimes it's a breeze. Other times most of the time it's a freaking nightmare. So.
Internet? What internet?
Yeah, that's what it feels like sometimes. But as always, as we close out the show, we're gonna let go around the round table. Everybody's gonna let you know what they got going on and give their closing thoughts on tonight's show. And we're gonna start off with.
Don't fuck this up, Mitchell.
Yeah, I need chilling out with these guys. Yeah, this is fun. Yeah, thanks for letting me on with this.
Hey, not a problem, man. Glad you could come on and hang out with us and have a blast with this one. Appreciate you, Slasher. And we're going to kick it on over.
I'm gravely disappointed. Again, you have made me unleash my dogs of war.
Yeah. So, thank you for doing a not planned stream from the Guinea Pig Collective, man. Come on. This is, yeah. You know, of all shows, I was not expecting to see this, right, coming from you. And I'm so happy that you picked it. And, yeah, for an unplanned show, you didn't even think we'd get an hour. And look, we're still going. So I got nothing planned. I'm hanging out with the bullfrogs. We had a storm this morning. I recorded. It looked like 4 a.m. at 9:30 this morning. It was crazy. So I was kind of filming that and just decided I wasn't going to do anything today. So I did nothing. Yeah, except for have fun with you guys and yeah, talk about Night Court. So yeah, I had fun. I hope you did. And remember, the most hated guinea pig on YouTube. You guys probably won't see this because they just won't let you know that it's here for another 6 months. So 6 months from now, hi people.
Probably. And it probably says right now that he streamed 8 hours ago, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, what, a week?
Thanks for jumping on, Adam. And yeah, man, every once in a while, you just never know what I'm capable of. Hell, I don't know what I'm capable of. So appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for stopping on.
We don't know. Yeah, brother, anytime. It was a blast.
Thanks, man. And we're going to kick it on over. Let's see. What should we do? You know what? I like this one.
Whoa. Who's responsible for this?
If something goes wrong, you find a scapegoat.
Rick.
It's what you do.
What'd you say?
Kelly.
You know, one day I hope that your wife plays that one for you. Just when you're sleeping, just the opening, not even up to the goat part, just the screeching of the machines because it's so fucking loud. It's like a drill in the brain. But yeah, that made me forget my name. Yeah, we're supposed to have a stream. I think Thursday. Yeah, we're doing a toy stream. I got a bunch of great books. Go buy them. Go buy my books. You're going to love them. 4 active campaigns right now. I hope the link's in the description. I have no idea anymore. All I can hear is that. Yeah. Don't forget, Nancy Pelosi's a piece of shit. So Thursday, yeah, there's supposed to be the debate as well. And did you hear, folks? They said that CNN is refusing anyone to play it, and Elon Musk was like, "Yeah, fuck you, we could do that just fine. It doesn't matter. Everyone needs to see these things because they're voting on a president, you spazzes." So yeah, we'll talk about some crazy stuff on Friday, I'm sure. Something along those topics, and probably the aftermath of what actually happened with said debate. So
well, here's something funny though, Vinny. I did see that Max actually has it scheduled to have the debate on Max.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because when I was perusing Max, just looking to see if anything new was on, I seen that was upcoming, and I was like, "Huh, really?"
Huh. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with everything, because this is insane what's going on. But But anyway, we're gonna have the toy stream before that, and I got a couple pieces already recorded. So Tommy, you should be proud of me.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're gonna be cool. Debating if I'll make some time for another one, but it's possible. It's very possible. But everyone, please have an awesome night, and I hope everyone enjoyed this stream.
Vinny, as always, I'm glad you could jump in, and another blast, man. And here we go. I'm going to say my outros as well.
Such heroic nonsense.
In case you didn't get it by now, I am the most hated guinea pig online, not just YouTube anymore. I have upgraded, and real quick, say hi. I see Orville Nation had popped in. What's up, PJ? Good to see you. I know Lion Ratton was happening in the chat. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
Glad you guys could make it. I hope that you're having a good day, and I hope that you guys had a blast going down memory lane with Night Court and some of the other old school goodies that I managed to pull out and some of the things that we were talking about. It's always a fun time here on Going Old School, letting everybody know why the old school stuff matters and why it's important to all of us. Because if you don't have a good starting foundation of why somebody's going to purchase something, why somebody's going to watch something, or be able to continue it, then you have absolutely nothing at all. Pay attention, people. There's a reason why a lot of these things are so beloved, is because of the way they were done, and it was a respect that was given to these franchises. Yep. And if you newer idiots don't get that, well, we can't help you. And you probably deserve to take a nice long vacation on Bikini Atoll, because we don't want to hear from you anymore. We're tired of it. Most hated guinea pig online. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence and your compliance gives consent. And we will catch you down the road. Have a good one, y'all. And this one is going out to Disney.